So let's not kid ourselves, everyone. The world has changed, whether we like it or not. The health pandemic has forced us to be more efficient, more effective, to totally change around the way in which we operate on so many levels, and none has been more heavily impacted than the way in which we actually hire team members and grow our people. So let's get stuck in right now, because there's some crucial facts that you need to know and be able to adjust with and pivot on to get the most out of your business and team moving forward from here. So in this podcast, I'm not going to get into COVID-19, the challenges to the political scene, the health impacts, the political scenes of what's going on, or the rights and wrongs and closed borders and JobKeeper and all that type of stuff. I'm going to park all that over to the side. What I just want to focus in on right now is the fact of how you actually have hired previously, how you may have been trying to hire during this period, and also coming out the back end of the pandemic has fundamentally changed. So we've been doing a lot of this. Just to give a bit of a premise to the podcast, is we've been doing a lot of hiring with our clients. We've had to hire in our own companies as well. And whilst everyone has been quite prominent people inside our industry, within a matter of 6 or 7 business days of isolation, we're sacking people and whinging about the government and all that type of stuff. The fact of the matter is, you should not have needed to sack anyone or lay any team off, because the fact of the matter is that the health industry were never in a situation, and you should have had a better structure in place. So let's just put that off to the side right now. If anyone wants to talk to me about that or challenge me on that, please feel free to do so. But I was thrown some people that were in dire situations, that were told they had to declare bankruptcy and all sorts of stuff, and every single one of those people we were able to help out and keep their head above water, so they didn't close, they didn't lose team members, and the proof is in the pudding. What we were able to do as well, in addition to that, by the time we got 3 or 4 weeks into the 8 to 10 week sort of closure period, we were actually in a hiring phase with team members. In fact, the second week of lockdown was when 2 of our clients, we'd positioned them so that we actually needed to go and hire. We've actually done it with 8 of our clients in the last 3.5 weeks alone. And when you think about it, while the rest of the industry is trying to, lick their wounds or work out how to get their team back and all sorts of stuff, we've actually been working it to actually make sure that our teams are growing, and every single one of them has been, which is quite phenomenal. But it's actually quite simple. So I'm not talking about this podcast here to be rude or to be arrogant, but just to actually say, when you get this right, and it is actually much simpler than what people think. It's not necessarily always easy, but much simpler than what people think. Then you too can have that success. And some of the key considerations that most people were working with previously is they were still doing a lot of one-on-one interviews. People love one-on-one interviews. And no matter what question I ask or talk to them about why they feel that they need to interview people, one-on-one and do a first round of interviews, and then they like to go back and ask more questions for a second round and things like that. Everyone always likes to just get a feel for the person, which is totally understandable. And they want to be able to see how they act and what they do, and their behavioural side, how they just react to a question, how they actually move in their chair, and all these type of things, which is completely valid first and foremost. Let me just say that. But when we hire, one of the best ways we can hire, and should always be hiring, is by using group interviews. So the old school way of doing a one-on-one interview, let's be honest, they're going to dress nice. They're going to always look sharp. They're going to make sure that they're friendly. They're going to have on the fake little smile. And I'm not talking about going over the top and being silly about it, but every single person knows they need to put on their best face when they turn up to a job interview. I mean, heck, you can go and do courses on this. People get shown in career seminars and that, and in schools and that type of stuff, job hunting classes, that they are actually, need to say the following, and they should background the company, and they need to ask better questions to the people. They need to engage, and etc., etc., right? You're getting a really false front all the time in that situation. So with isolation, with a lot of people social distancing and that type of stuff, and also the fact that group interviews are a lot harder right at the present time, one of the biggest challenges or questions you might be saying right now is, well, then what's changed and what's different? How do I actually do it if we're in isolation? Or how do I do a group interview if I can't actually have them all together because of the size of our rooms and those type of things? And it's a great question. Here's the thing. You need to be a lot more focused in on emotional intelligence, their behavioral characteristics, and things like disc profiles in a time like we are experiencing at the moment. For the simple fact that if you just go on gut feel, if you just go on what the person says and does in front of you, we've had to be doing a lot of these via Zoom meetings, both one-on-ones and also group Zoom meetings as well. So we can still do the whole, in theory, one-on-one, in theory, group, face-to-face type scenarios. And we can still do that. But you must be a lot more perceptive to some of the smaller traits and the smaller behavioral traits than simply going on what is, holistically sitting in front of you in an interview. When people are on Zoom and things like that online, or Skype, etc., you just get the head and the shoulders, etc. Just like for those watching this on the video version, you're just seeing my head and arms and fingers floating around and things like that. Apologies for the ugly or good-looking view, depending on which way you want to look at it. And so here's the thing. You need to be a lot more perceptive in reading body language, and you need to be a lot more understanding of how their behavioral traits are with that body language, coupled with things like a disc profile and what the report of the disc profile is saying. So when you actually know more about disc, and it is behavioral, not personality traits, okay? Personality you can't change, behaviors you can. So we want to know about whether they're more introverted or extroverted, more family-focused and people-focused or task-focused. We want to know how they best react, how we can best communicate, what are the things that are going to be more beneficial to the way in which we provide a certain environment. What type of learning environment are they best suited to? What's the best way to approach them if there's more responsibility and accountability? If we need to step up, what's things to say and not to say? And all of that is very easily known if you've learned more about disc profiles. And then couple that and add that to what you're seeing in a reduced frame, as in you're not seeing the patient. You're not seeing the person face to face and being able to watch everything about their body language. You're only about getting what's happening with their, shoulders, head, hands, etc., facial features. You can put those together and get a much better understanding of how the team's going to work together. Now, I've found way too many people over the years have put too much power in what's written into a resume, CV, cover sheet, what's written in writing, etc. Half the time can be a bunch of lies. And at the end of the day, whether you've got Ps or HDs, if you're looking for a practitioner and they're accredited, that's the most important thing. Yes, you're going to have different skill sets, but ultimately you're going to be able to train that. You're going to be able to onboard that. And right now, more than ever, with the absolute fear-mongering that's out there, all the scarce, just the downright fear that's put out there, all the negativity, all the uncertainty, there is so many more people out there right now that are not in flow. They are not in a situation where they know what's happening next. None of us really know in the months ahead exactly how this is going to look. So there's so much more uncertainty out in the marketplace. And as a net result, we're really seeing people's true colors in the last 3 or 4 months. How people feel when they're threatened, when they don't see a clear future, how they actually act, how they talk, what they post on social media. We're getting a lot clearer understanding of what people are like in that adaptive style, and when they're caught in a situation of not being in full control and not knowing and being comfortable. So what we need to be able to do right now is we need to have a much better understanding of how people are acting, what they're saying and doing in different situations out in their life, not just what they're putting to us face to face right now. And that couldn't be more important than right now, because we need to be able to hire team members that are the right fit, that we can best work with, that we have the best opportunity to build personally and professionally, the best opportunity for them to be the right person for, me and my team and the business and our clients, everything moving forward. So yeah, they might have the same piece of paper. They might have more skills or less skills from a technical side. But we need to be able to understand that we're going to be able to onboard them. We're going to be able to train them and build them up. But here's the thing. If we don't know best how to do that, and based on their behavioral profile, what the best ways are to get the most out of them in the most efficient and effective way, then it doesn't matter how damn good they are, or how experienced they are, or how much they nail an interview, they will not be the right person for you and your team and business moving forward. So just keep in mind right now, there are some big changes that have happened. We need to be online and doing things online and digitally. We need to have a better understanding of DISC profiles. We need to have a better understanding of how we can help them, what we need to be able to provide for them based on their behavioral profile. We need to have a better and more in-depth look at who they are in the background, how they're reacting to things right now, because the uncertainty, the fear, the negativity, etc. that's out there is going to be around for a lot longer. And we're going to have to be able to look at those key considerations right now as to how they're better going to be able to work with our team. And those factors are a hell of a lot more important than whether they've got the right hand skills to, complete, manipulations better, or to be able to do soft tissue release techniques, or how their exercise prescription is compared to others. That right now is not as important as what it is to get the right person that's in the right mindset, that we know is going to be able to be better part of our team and working with our clients. Because if we have to invest less time and effort into micromanaging someone and their emotions and their mental health towards what's happening, or their fear and fight and flight responses, etc. right now, then it's going to make it so much easier for us to get the right fit, build the business, build the team, and have something that fits right for our team and our clients, much more than just going for someone with the best skill set. And right now, more than ever, we need to know that with our hiring. We need to get our skill sets up ourselves so that we're better at finding those right people, knowing what to do with DISC profiles, knowing how to best provide for them and work with them, what to best look for, because ultimately, at the end of the day, that is what's going to do the best for you right now than just simply looking for what most people do all the time, look for the most experienced person that, they have a the wrong perception, to be totally honest, that if I just get someone that with great skill sets, that they're going to be able to plug in and have a caseload and be off and running, they'll build their load, etc. That is literally the furthest thing that you should be thinking about right now in the current climate, because otherwise you'll be investing way too much time and effort into working with them mentally, working with them, for the cultural fit, working with everything that's happening with COVID and all the other challenges that are moving forward from here. Right now, we need to be smarter about how we hire. You need to know your DISC profiles, be more emotionally intelligent, get them to have a bit, work with them as to what type of environment, what they need, how you can best work with them, and have a better understanding and scratch the surface more about who they are, how they've been reacting to things, what they're saying and doing regarding the current climate moving forward. Because for the next X amount of period of time, those things are going to have the biggest influence on whether they are a good fit for your team than any other factor that you've previously looked at. Go and get stuck in. Make sure that you make every post a winner with it. Reach out if you need some help. Until next time, go and get stuck into the hiring process. Have more impact with your team and your business. Change more lives. And let's go and make a better world for all of us. Talk to you soon. Hey guys, thank you very much for listening to another episode of the Profitable Practice Podcast. I would love nothing more than for you to be able to leave a review. I get so much joy out of listening and reading the amazing things that you guys say about this. So please subscribe to our channel, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Let's get some more fantastic information out there so all of us can grow the industry together. Cheers for now.